If you want to improve your overall social skills, use conversation threading. This is way easier than you think, and it's all about extending the conversation with what you're already talking about. You probably thread your conversations more than you think. So if you're trying to learn different techniques to extend a conversation beyond small talk, conversation threading is highly suggested. You can use this technique in any social situation, and once you've gotten the hang of it, you'll start to see how much easier conversations will be. Conversation threading is a technique that will enhance your overall conversation. It will also allow you to continue a social interaction continuously without feeling like you'll run out of things to say. But before we get started, if you want to go all in, check out our next level conversation course. You can view it here. So, what does conversation threading look like? We have 5 steps. Step 1, ask a simple question to get the conversation started. This allows for momentum to build. Step 2, wait for the person to answer and listen for conversation clues, such as, I love to travel. Step 3, follow up with an open-ended question about the conversation clue you just heard. This extends the conversation, such as, tell me about a place you'd like to travel to next and why. Step 4, wait for the person to answer. And again, listen for clues that will help you ask additional questions. They might say, I've learned so much about other cultures while traveling. Followed up by your open-ended question, that's amazing. Tell me about some of the things you've learned while traveling. 5 examples of conversation threading you can use today. Number 1, where are you from? Followed by, what is your hometown like? How is it different than here? Number 2, what do you do? Followed by, what made you enter your profession? What inspires you about that type of work? Number 3, have you attended these networking events before? Followed by, what did you think of today's speaker? Number 4, did you have a good weekend? Followed by, what kind of fun did you get into this weekend? Number 5, did you like the restaurant? Followed by, what do you recommend eating here? So these types of threads can nudge the conversation into deeper, more authentic territory where introverts tend to thrive. So you ask a question that's close-ended, such as, do you like the restaurant? Followed by the thread, what do you recommend eating here? Find common ground and shared experiences to build on. When you discover commonalities, you'll build trust and become likable faster. You accomplish this by sharing similarities or similar experiences and achieving compatibility. After establishing trust and compatibility, discussions over shared experiences give the other person a sense of freedom that allows them and you to be open and honest. This is known as bonding, allowing you to have deeper conversations and discover more about the person you're talking to. Share your experiences using conversation threading. Here are some examples. Tell me about your day. The short response might be, it was good, just got out of work. A better response that you can say to talk about your experiences, my day was good. I enjoyed my time at work and finally finished a huge research project for my boss. So glad to be done soon and to be getting a drink. You should come. This comment gives enough detail and leaves enough curiosity for the listener to ask questions. It helps the other person bounce back a comment back and forth or ask an additional question. So keeping the momentum going by having the conversation go back and forth is really important. And this is how you can take control of a conversation, by sharing your experiences and leaving enough room for curiosity. And remember, ask more meaningful and open-ended questions. To keep the momentum going of the conversation, ask above average questions. For example, what's your family like? What's it been like to spend time with them? How are you going to spend the weekend? Tell me about your last relationship. What was it like? What was it like growing up in your hometown? Make the other person at some point of the conversation, the focal point, by being curious and exploring with genuine interest about who they are. When you lead with curiosity and ask thoughtful questions that allow someone to share or have the floor, you build a connection. And that leads to trust. And as you ask more questions, you'll likely find commonalities and have shared moments, which are quick ways to build momentum and a bond with the other person. Now we have a quick summary of how you can use conversation threading and what you can do to continue to improve your social skills. Actively listen for additional threads. Sincerely be an engaged listener when someone is talking to you. Use more open-ended questions. Good questions are how you keep introducing new threads and extend the conversation. This keeps the person talking. Get the person you're talking with to share their ideas, experiences, opinions, and stories. Don't forget to share your stories and experiences too. If the person you're talking to says something you have knowledge about or an experience with, then this is an opportunity to jump in and share your experiences too. Feel free to transition to a new thread. You don't have to only respond to what others are saying. But when appropriate, don't hold back to transition to another topic or thread. Feel free to experiment and see where things go. Reinforce what people are saying to you. Have the conversations repeating or validating what people are saying. Use empathy. Also, have general knowledge about what's happening in the news and current events. The more interests and hobbies you have, the more you can talk about. This allows you to talk more about your experiences and share stories. And practice. Having conversations with a friend or watching conversations online can help. And lastly, let go of mistakes. We're human. We make mistakes, and that's common. Do your best to keep the conversation threading. And keep in mind the steps we talked about today. Ultimately, the more mindful you are of your conversations, the easier it will be to generally connect with people and build better relationships.